Hello one and all, welcome to this festive episode of 5 Minute Fiddle. And you may be mistaken and think I am Santa Claus himself, but it's not. It's me, it's Ben, and it's Ben. I'm here with my fiddle to do some festive tunes for 5 Minute Fiddle. I've swapped my hat, the beard gets in the way of playing. So I thought today I'd look at some Christmassy festive tunes that aren't your everyday songs you hear quite a lot on the radio and that kind of thing. Songs that are a little bit different but still really festive and really musical as well. So without further ado, I'm looking at starting with Carol of the Bowels. This is one I find quite hard to say. I find the word bowels quite hard to say, so bells. Is that right, Soph? Sound all right? Yeah?
Carol, like.
Go, tell me, how do you say it then?
Bells.
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 Bowels, is that right? Okay, Carol of the Bowels. Okay, just subtitles. So this tune's fantastic. It's very simple. It's a very simple format to it, but really there is a lot you can do with it. And it's one of the songs, when I play a Christmas show, that I like to be very inventive with on the spot. It's not something I will have a huge arrangement for before the show. We'll go on stage, we all know the tune, we all know the notes, we know the chords, and we'll just go for it and create the music there and then. So with the dynamics building and create those big shapes and dynamics, go, build, drop real quiet and then build again. And I think it's one of those songs where it has all these different styles in as well. So you can put your classical styles, a bit of folk if you want, and obviously your jazz, and just really go to town with it. Normally, there's a big arrangement with choirs and that kind of thing. And I think for that reason, we don't really hear jazz bands play it. But we can do the same thing with a jazz band. We can all have these big, inventive musical ideas to create this huge sounding mixture of wonderful styles and dynamics. One of the recordings I've done is with piano. It starts off the piano nice and quiet and builds. Then I'll add a little harmony on top. Bass will come in with those. And then starts off simply and just gets adding a little bit more as we go through, and eventually there's this huge sound that builds and then eventually drops out and you can go nice and high. During the part where it's all built up and it's quite a big sound, there's quite a lot of notes going on. You've got all these different things. You can use your classical styles. You got your kind of folky rhythms. I always think they kind of. You've got your double stops as well. You can put in quite a lot of, build into a beautiful high ending. And then slowly ending with that rip. It's just one you can be so inventive with. I do like that one. So moving on, looking at some real jazz Christmas songs. This one is called Zat You Santa Claus, with a Z, Zat You. And it was a Louis Armstrong song, a Louis Armstrong Christmas song. He did 2 or 3 Christmas songs, did Louis Armstrong, and they're great and they're real swinging. They're all done in that Louis Armstrong style with the New Orleans band and his great voice for singing these songs, you know. So That You Santa Claus, this is a song that I took and turned it into a gypsy jazz style song. It works really well because it's that kind of minor feel to it. So at Christmas time, it's like a nice replacement for Don't Mean a Thing or Putting on the Ritz or something like that, those kind of minor sounding songs. Because I always like to think at Christmas, you know, you can replace a couple of these songs that are quite similar, but may as well do a festive one because it's a Christmas show. So this is That You Santa Claus, and I think it's nice to kind of think in that New Orleansy style, even if you're playing with a gypsy jazz style band. Think about how Louis Armstrong would have done it on the trumpet. Think about how his clarinet player would have done it. Most importantly, get those knocks. I use the back of the violin.
Who's there? Who is it? I'll stop in for a visit. That you, Santa Claus? I want to think.
And get those slides going.
That you, Santa Claus?
So looking now at something a bit slower, a nice Christmassy ballad. And this is In the Bleak Midwinter. This version, there's two versions I think. One that I'm going to look at now by Gustav Holst. I did this with a guitarist and it's come out nice and slow but also a little bit folky. So it's got that folky edge with the improvisation, keeping the jazz element, and then you know you've got something a little bit different. And in the solos, you know, you can get real high, nice and one of the things I found works really well is the double bass playing the tune. So it doesn't necessarily have to be me featuring on the tune. I can just take a couple of solos and this one works, I think, nicely with that real low double bass sound. So it's got that kind of folky feel, led by an instrument that wouldn't normally lead a tune. It's nice and different, quite special. So finally looking at another faster one, a swinging one. So from the film The Snowman, the famous song, obviously, Walking in the Air, but it's not that one. It's one of my favourites from the film. It always was when I was growing up as a kid, and even now, you know, when I watch it, I love the tune where they're having a party with all the snowmen and Santa's there and the little kids there. They're having a dance at the party. And they start to play this song, this little band of snowmen. In the film, it's a little bit like this. But when I was thinking of doing this with my gypsy jazz band, I thought, wouldn't it be nice to swing it? Change it a little bit, change the feel just a little bit, so that it can be swung and done quite up as well. So I came up with. And then you've got that swing feel, and you can add the stops as you're playing the tune to begin with from the band. So the band play these stops, and you get these nice hits as well. It's a really swinging song, and then when it comes to the middle, and then the bass starts walking, It's a great tune for the violin anyway, because it was originally played on the violin, so fantastic. But it's a really jolly song, it's a really happy one, and again, it's one that people won't have heard a huge amount of. Well, I hope you've enjoyed a look at some different Christmas songs, some of the ones I love to play, and hopefully they've got you feeling a bit festive. They're worth looking at, but this has some great Christmas songs, isn't there? Well, have a Merry Christmas, whatever you're doing. Stay safe, and Happy New Year as well. Keep the music going. We all need a bit of nice music at the moment, don't we? Anyway, take care. We'll see you next year for another 5-Minute Fiddle 2021. Oh yeah!